Kai Cenat is no stranger to controversy, but what went down in his recent live stream has the internet going crazy. A magician, a deadly magical illusion gone wrong, thousands of people watching live, and a backlash that just might change both of their lives forever. Let's break down this controversial story from a magician's perspective. Now, for those of you who might not know, Kai Cenat is a Twitch streamer, someone who streams live, and he's one of the biggest streamers in the world, with tens of thousands of people tuning into each one of his streams. He's known for his high-energy personality, over-the-top antics, and really connecting with his audience. And he'll often host these subathons, where he'll stream for days or sometimes weeks straight on end and have tons of special guests with some crazy moments. Max Major, on the other hand, is a professional magician and mentalist with over 1 million followers on YouTube, who has performed all over the world for countless celebrities. He's been on national television, and he's known for his bold illusion and grand stunts. So this past Tuesday, Kai was in the middle of one of his massive live streaming events where he was having all kinds of special guests and streaming for days and weeks on end. Now, he brought Max Major onto his channel to perform some close-up magic and finish it off with an incredible illusion. What seemed like a great idea, all in good fun, quickly took a dark turn. When you're hiring a magician, the element of surprise is really important, so you never really know what they're gonna bring and what they're gonna deliver. And when you have an audience of millions of people, with many of them being kids, that's always going to be a risk. So the close-up magic went fairly well, and then it came time for the grand illusion. Max had everyone go outside where there was this strange setup with a bunch of nooses. And the idea of the trick was, well, a little bit dark. Max would put his head through one of the nooses, and there were 3 cords, blue, red, and yellow, that Kai could then choose from. And when he pulled one of the cords, it would cause the noose to pull up. And Kai would pull 2 of these, and in the end, the trick would be that Max would be okay and not be hung, because he would influence Kai to pull the 2 that aren't connected to him. But that's not how this went down. So you see, Kai pulled the first rope and the noose shot up. And then he made his final decision, a 50-50 chance. Kai pulls one of the strings and Max gets hung live in front of thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people, many of them children. Now, I'm not going to show it, but there's a clear-cut video on the internet that exists of Max being hung, and a lot of people were really disturbed by this. Instantly, Kai and the rest of his team freak out, not knowing if this was going according to plan or not. You can see the fear in their faces. You can see true shock and the anger that ultimately comes over them. They were immediately escorted away from the scene, not given any information on the state of Max's well-being. Kai and his team return back up to his room, and they find a note sticking on his monitor from Max. They go to a URL and they play a YouTube video. And well, this is what Max had to say.
If you're watching this, that means that something has gone terribly wrong. But what you don't know is that was all according to my plan. You see, at the start of my performance, I said that tonight was all about choices. You challenged me. You wanted to see me fail. And I thought tonight I'd give you exactly what you asked for. You see, you thought the game was for me to influence you to make the right choice. Well, all along, I planned to influence you to make the wrong choice, and I knew you'd pick the red hand. You see, even when it feels like you're playing a game of chance, you have to remember who you're playing against, because I decide who wins or loses.
So as you can see, all of this was a stunt. It was an illusion, a hoax. From the beginning, it was all planned by Max, meant to go wrong. And then Max's team just vanished. Max disappeared, all his assistants disappeared, everyone left. They ran away without explanation. Now, this is where things take a weird turn. Kai and his team are able to track down one of Max's assistants, and they practically hold him hostage until they get some kind of answers. Now, they essentially interrogated Max's assistant and were able to find out that this was all set up to begin with, Max is okay, and that he's now left. But Kai is insistent that Max must come back or they're not gonna let him leave. He needs to talk to him face to face as a man and ask him why he did that on his stream. Kai and his team, they're visibly upset. They're upset at the fact that they could get banned for showing that kind of imagery to children on a stream, obviously about the turmoil that they just went through, thinking someone got hung and died right in front of them, and frankly, Kai was left feeling responsible for it, and they just really felt it was a sick illusion, a sick thing to do, and really wrong. Now, Kai's response to all of this was to ban magicians from his stream. He has now put a permanent ban on magicians from his stream. In the past, he has had several different magicians perform for him, including Max several times before. Here's what he had to say about it.
It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, bro. Let him go. Yo, let him go. We just look like black people that look crazy. That's what they want to look like. Let God handle that, bro. But Max, you was a f***ed up. Max, you f***ed up. No more magic on this motherfucker, chat.
Now, eventually, Max came out and defended himself and defended the illusion, explaining that it was entirely staged and carefully rehearsed for safety. He emphasized the imagery was meant to be shocking, but not offensive. And he essentially just said to Kai, well, let it be. Let the trick play out how it plays out. Let people react how they want to react. It's just a trick.
Max just texted my team saying, it's Max. I don't have my phone. I think we let everybody leave and we let the story be what it is.
What?
I'm the bad guy, but coming back doesn't change anything.
Now, this quickly became a major controversy on the internet. You had some fans taking Kai's side, saying this was absolutely disgusting, really poor timing, and extremely offensive, especially considering the audience that Max was performing this type of illusion for, and the traumas associated with some of the imagery. Then you had people kind of running to Max's defense, saying that, well, it's an illusion, and magicians since the beginning of time have been faking their own deaths and doing these kind of risky stunts. They also point out that Kai's reaction was kind of over the top, and they felt that he was probably in on it from the beginning, and this was all just one big publicity stunt, and Max shouldn't be to blame, and that in fact this was all just a stunt that Kai and his entire team was in on in order to garner more subscriptions and views. So now let me give you my perspective. As a professional magician, what do I think about this crazy situation? I think the crux of this problem is the illusion crossing the line? Now, on one hand, I understand the sentiment, magicians are going to do tricks, they're going to do illusions, and it is true that magicians have been faking their death and performing these kind of risky stunts since the beginning of magic. That is all true. But where I think the problem lies is your timing. Whenever you're performing a show, putting something on for an audience, you need to know your audience, know what's right, what's wrong, and know the timing. You need to be aware and read between the lines a little bit. I'm not gonna go perform some crazy death-defying stunt at a senior's home. And I'm not gonna perform some inappropriate joke magic to a kid's party. And I think this falls in that box. Max should have known better than to perform this kind of stunt with this kind of graphic imagery. While it's not gory and all that kind of stuff, the image that you see, that you can find on the internet of Max hanging there by his neck with a noose, you have to imagine this was broadcasted to tens of thousands of children. And that's where I think this was a big problem. There is plenty of room for incredible illusions and stunts that Max could have done without crossing that line. Now, personally, from watching the performance and watching the reactions, I don't think Kai was in on this. His reactions to me seem genuine, and he truly seems visually upset, including all of the other people around him, that this was pulled on him. I can only imagine the feeling when he pulled that lever and thought he killed Max. I mean, that just doesn't sit right with me as a magician. At the end of the day, our job is to entertain. It's not to scare people, and while fear can be a way of entertainment, it's gotta be much more carefully calculated than what Max did. I really think Max just needed to take a hint and take better context clues when approaching what he was gonna do in this scenario. So I do think Max was wrong, and I think the way he just ran away and left the scene is quite cowardly. If this was really meant to be an illusion, well, he should go back and enjoy the audience's reaction and explain the trick and spend time enjoying that moment. That's the best moment of a magical effect. When you get your reaction, you want to be there to experience it. If he really thought this was going to play well, then why did he run off? Something there doesn't quite sit right with me. Now, on Kai's side, while I don't think he should ban all magicians, and I think that's really unfortunate, I understand why he did it. It's his stream, it's the way he makes his money, and he can do what he wants. He said magicians are just too much of a liability, you never know what you're gonna get, and he's just done with them. At the end of the day, I put the responsibility here on Max. You're the magician, you're the performer, and you need to think about how everything you perform is gonna come across, the context in which you're performing, who your audience is, and how things will be received. So what do you think? Did Max cross the line, or was this just a case of misunderstood entertainment? And was Kai's response justified? Was he in on it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, if you enjoyed this breakdown from a magician's perspective, go check out this video where I break down 21 Savage scamming Aiden Ross out of over $200,000, and I explain to you exactly how he did it. If you'd like to get some one-on-one private lessons from me, or join my Mentalism membership where you can learn how to read minds, you can check those out at the link in the description. And with all that said, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.